All right, Coach, obviously, elephant in the room, big win this past weekend. In dramatic fashion to add to it, how excited are you guys in the opportunity that you guys are presented going into next week?
Well, it's exciting. You win good games, or close games, I should say, against really good football teams. And, quite frankly, we didn't play our best game. We really didn't, looking back on film. Our execution wasn't great, but at the end of the day, a win at home against a quality opponent in Central Wash, that's a really good football team. That says a lot about the team we have. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement, but it's exciting. It continues to push us towards our goals. We want to set out each and every year to win a Lone Star Conference championship, and we're moving in that direction. We took that next step to continue to do that. We still got a lot of football to play, but at the end of the day, taking care of that game at home and allowing us to get the win. Again, when we didn't play great, but get the win, it's exciting. So our players are fired up to get going. This is a short week for us this week with the travel day on Friday. We can't practice on Tuesday with Election Day. That's an NCAA rule, so it cuts our practices a little short. Out of that, so we're going to have to extend our practice today a little bit on Monday. We normally just do a quick little walkthrough, but we're going to have to go today. But end of the day, proud of the way these guys, the effort was great Saturday. It really was. So I don't want to discourage anything about what happened on Saturday. It was a great win, and I'm proud of it. We never apologize for wins here at Angelo State. You got to go out. It's hard to win football games, and so we did a good job with it. But we're hoping the execution picks up this week, and we get better out of it. And one thing I'll say about that too is Central Wash was probably a big reason why we didn't execute well. They're good on both offense and defense, so they caused us a lot of problems. But at the end of the day, a great win for our players and for the program.
I was going to ask you, y'all had so many big wins recently. Was it a good experience to just be in a game that was tight the whole way through like that?
Yeah, it is, and you're going to get those games, what I mean, with Central Wash. And I'll be honest with you, man, we went 0-2 to start the season, and we played two really good football teams, and we were in close games in those games, and I think that helped. I really do. I mean, obviously I would have liked to win both those games, but playing great opponents like that to help you, down the road and within the Lone Star Conference, that helped us. It really did. You didn't see panic, you didn't see frustration, you just saw continual great effort. Again, the execution's got to be better, but the continual great effort of our players. So I think playing a very good non-conference schedule, albeit we were 0-2 when doing so, but in playing that, we're a different football team because of that. There's no doubt, and we know that, and I think our players are starting to realize that this team can be special, and that's the biggest thing. Just playing tight games, that you're going to play those in the Lone Star Conference, and I feel like how we scheduled, again, I'd much rather have been 2-0, but we played two really good football teams that allowed us to see great talent and improve.
To kind of flashback, you guys enter week 2, you have a quarterback injury, you go from a 2 QB system to a 1 full-time starter, and then you guys put up 4 field goals to come out of that game. And I know it really was kind of staring in the mirror at that point. How did you get the guys to rally for the next 7 games after that?
Well, we have great leadership, with our seniors. We talked about it after that game. I like to speak to my guys in realities. We talk about what it is. Reality was at that time we were 0-2. And the reality was we needed to, not hit the panic button, but increase the urgency of how we're practicing and playing and preparing and, taking a good look at yourself. Both as a coaching staff and as a player, what are you doing? Are you doing everything you can to get better and continue to improve? And our guys bought into that procedure. They brought in that belief that we got to take a look at ourselves and see what we can do. It's not about who we're playing. It's about us. Are we improving as a team? And I think that urgency definitely stepped up. And after that start we had, and guys got on a run. We got on a run and started playing better football. And you look at the quarterback position and what Braden has done. He's gotten more and more reps because, of the injury with Caden and that kind of thing. And, when you string these win streaks together, it's hard to make moves and switch around. Caden's a really good football player, and he's a guy that's going to be competing for that job every year he's here. And so, it's those type of things. But, Braden's just gotten better and better at the quarterback position, and I think that's helped with it. Defensively, I felt like, we've played pretty good defense all year. You take a step back and look at this last game, we didn't play great on defense. There's some things that we just didn't do right, but we got to win. That's probably quite frankly, overall, our worst performance on defense in the sense of like scheme and being sound. They just didn't find the mistakes, with it. So we got to continue to get better and do some things there. But yeah, it's we're blessed to have the quarterback room that we have, because you can go even down the list from Caden. There's guys that are in that room that are competing and preparing and ready to play football for us. So we're excited about that position.
Coach, walk us through the final drive for Central Wash, leading to the score. Of course, fans all over, the turmoil of emotions. But for you as the head coach, kind of what was your thought process in the moment whenever you saw them score? You're like, okay, what was that on for you?
Yeah, it's I've been doing it a long time. You ride the ups and downs with it, and you got to stay under control and stay relaxed to it, and it's high level. Excitement out there for our players and all that kind of thing going on, and both the ups and downs, right, of what they do. But our guys stayed under control. They lined up to go for two, and probably what I would have done on the road as well, line up and go for two. They've had some success in that drive. That last drive, going back to it, man, we had so many opportunities to get off the field on third down. We just didn't, and that was something I'm talking about with execution. But our guys just kept playing, and if you take a look at it, they jumped off sides. They had a false start on that play, so I think they were a little wound up more than we were a little wound up with their opportunities. Our guys stayed under control. They moved it back, and as soon as they moved it back, we've seen that great pressure, bringing great pressure at their kicks, and the kids missed a few, and he missed it. So at the end of the day, as me as a coach who's been doing it for 30 years, I wasn't as high strung as our players, I think. But again, I think our senior leadership really calmed our players down, and when it came to that big moment, they made a mistake and we didn't, and they had to line up to kick that instead of go for two.
And then you already mentioned about some of the execution that you need to work on for this week. One of the ones I wanted to focus on was basically kind of more the offensive line. It looks to be more one of the more tougher matchups for your offensive line this week, especially the second half, getting those 3 sacks that Fuller took, and amongst the amount of pressure that he received, forcing the run almost 20 times during the game. So kind of what was it? Was that more of a Central Wash effort, or was that more of just a miscommunication on
a little bit of both. I think with the O-line, if you look at how we played in the O-line up front, we played pretty well. I always, the quarterback gets blamed for everything a lot all the time, and sometimes the quarterback is to blame. They got to keep their eyes downfield and continue to throw where they feel pressure where it's not there. I think there's some things that happen both ways there a little bit. Our O-line has done a great job of getting better and better each week, and that's something we said earlier. We're going to hang our hat on what we do in the O-line. We got some really good players up there, but Central Wash causes a lot of problems. They're a top 10 defense in the country, just like how, I don't know, 5 weeks ago when we were playing Kingsville, they were the number 3 team in the country against the run, so we weren't going to sit up there and line and run the ball a million times. So, we were playing really good defenses, and our O-line's battling with it, and, Braden's got to continue to get better and better as well. We felt like we had some open receivers at times that we needed to get the ball thrown, and he maybe took off a little bit too early on some things, but it's hard to tell him not to take off too, because he can really run. So excited about where they're at, but I think a little bit of both, on that. Braden continue to keep improving, and our O-line continuing to face great opponents and get the job done.
On the road to Western Oregon this week, obviously it's at stake with the LSC for grabs for you guys. Just give us your thoughts on this matchup ahead of you guys.
Well, they're a good football team. There's I think 6-1 in conference right now. Their one loss is to Kingsville. Kingsville went up there and beat them a couple weeks ago. So they're a good football team. Coach Ferguson's done a great job. Like what he wants to run the football. If you look at what scheme-wise and what they do, a lot of it's alike what Central Wash did this past week. So we got some reps at that this week built in going in. But a very good football team. One of the top running backs in my opinion in the conference that we're going to have to handle. And they got another backup that's a pretty good player there too. Quarterback runs around with it, not quite like the kid at Central Wash did, but he's very solid, and they are just mammoth in the O-line. I mean, it's as big as a group as I've seen in their offensive line. They move well, they block well. So we've got our hands full for sure on defense. Offensively, on their defensive front, they're a team that likes to line up and stop the run and do those types of things, and they've always been good on defense. So it should be a great football game. We're playing on natural grass up there for the first time, the only time we ever play on natural grass anywhere. So it's going to be a chance of rain up there, chance of muddy game and that kind of stuff. So we'll just see how it goes. But, at the end of the day, we're built to run it. We're built to throw it on offense. That's something that when I became head football coach, I wanted to be able to do both and effectively, so you can not have to play to a team's advantage. We can line up and do either one. So it's going to be a great football game. We know what's at stake leading into it, but at the end of the day, we're not looking at it as a one game to win a Lone Star Conference. We're looking at 2 more games on our schedule to, win both of those and have a chance to compete in the national playoffs. I mean, it comes down to 1 week at a time, but, when you get down to the final 2 weeks, there's no doubt that that's in the back of your mind, and so you want to play well and go. But, proud of this group. They're going to have we're going to have a great plan for them as a staff, and they'll go execute. So it's exciting, but man, I just want to get here, get to Saturday and get going. But we'll take these days of preparation and go. And like I said, we're shorthanded a little bit with Tuesday practice. Now that's everybody. That's not just Angelo State. That's everybody in the country shorthanded a little bit for practice days. But we'll see how that works out and go see what we can do.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.